Welcome back to Age of Strife. Now, the location of Stratsburn is pretty far away from you guys. It's going to be at least a day journey to get there.
Can we? I'm going to suggest to everyone that we wait until the hanging so that we can be a presence there and make our presence be seen, or either that, or talk to the sheriff and see if he can postpone the hanging until our return, which should only be a day or so, or 2 days.
The hanging,
instead?
The hanging is going to be done by the Countess. She is going to come into town and oversee the official hanging. So it's going to be a few days before that happens.
Right. Okay, cool.
So Fiona will wake up by then. So
as soon as Jonathan hears that the Countess is coming into town, bloodlust comes over his eyes. At some point in time, Jonathan wants to just slaughter her. But he keeps desires to himself.
Also, before we head off, I just want to have a word with the sheriff and say, Sheriff, together we've been a very good team. I was just wondering if you could have a look into the very malicious graffiti that's been scrawled over the town, so that we can keep this good partnership as our the favor of our house is also reflected upon you as well.
I understand, Lord. But we got many thousands of people here, and I only got 8 men and myself. There's only so much we can do. We got to be keeping an eye out on the gates. Can't let robbers in. We got to patrol the streets, keep the thieves away. We can't launch an investigation into everything. But I'm sure you can hire some independent contractors to figure these things out for you. And you let me know who they are, and I'll make sure that my boys stay out of their way. How about that?
Very good.
I think the independent route would be better to go. I'm not so sure that the sheriff can really figure anything out. What did you figure out about the Bluebeard gang again? Oh, yeah, nothing. We did it all.
Unfortunately,
right. You did it all, including scaring them off by being so obvious with your presence. Well done. Now they've gone into hiding. You did a great job.
Yeah.
Actually,
maybe
both
if
of
you
you
would have done your job in the first place. Yeah.
Both of you, the fault rests with me, as I did not spot the rear escape. If we had spotted that, then that would have gone very differently. But it is of no matter. The Bluebeard gang is still out there, and we still have an opportunity, hopefully, to run them down. Let's not be presumptuous just yet. Let's focus on where we're going.
I'm gonna go up to Torin and be like, Torin, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. Those people made bad mistakes. It is their own fault they chose to target us. Yeah?
Thank you, Amy.
Okay.
As we walk out of the sheriff's station, brother, sister, maybe it's a long journey. I'm still suffering. Physically, I don't know how much I can offer. Maybe we should bring on some unskilled hands to help us along the journey.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have the resources.
I believe we've acquired a little bit of wealth. An unskilled hand wouldn't be that much money. And I'm sure we'll be pulling in more than what we're paying them by far.
I could ask my friends if they could find out about who's been doing the distasteful graffiti.
That, Amy, is a very good idea.
All right. So I will head off to the slums by the swamp wash.
All right. So where are we gonna get unskilled labor from? Are you thinking like from the old mercenaries place?
So we can look into the graffiti and stuff and just say that's going on in the background. I don't think that's something that we're gonna need to role play.
No.
Considering that we're running into overtime, let's focus on the other thing, and then we'll rope that in with just a couple of skill checks at the end of the session, and then we'll figure out how that plays out next session, if that's okay with you guys.
Yep.
Fair enough.
So, down to the village. Stratsburn. Right. So it's going to be, it's 26 miles from Wadsworth. So if you set out now, you can get about halfway before dark would be set. You could camp out in the wilderness, or you could maybe camp with or stay at one of the estates along the way.
Are there other villages in between us and there?
There are.
And since we're nobles, can't we just push ourselves on anybody?
Yes, you can.
One of you was saying about hiring an unskilled laborer. It would be really good to have someone who we could have, we pay them and maybe they have some sort of weapon or armor and they could help us just rest and watch at nights at least.
If we go to one of the villages and just stay in one of the houses and
The risk is lower. Neil, would you prefer if we dealt with that, like, maybe picking up somebody else perhaps next week?
If you don't need them for this trip right now, I would say let's do it later. If you want them for this trip, we can do it now.
Brad, your idea?
it's cool.
Okay, cool. So, there are many villages along the way, but there's really only, like, 2 that you would conceivably stop at. The others are a little out of the way and a little awkward. So you can stay at, what are these names? You can stay at Keedvar, or you can stay at Wishwell.
Which one's the furthest away? Or which one's closer to it?
Keedvar is closer to it. It's run by Lady Kel Penelope Lithman. The other one, Wishwell, is run by Lord Richie Lithman. So they're both Lithman villages.
Okay, the one that's closer.
Yeah.
So Wishwell?
Wishwell sounds cooler.
Sounds cooler. That's the way to do it. Which one sounds cooler? Let me make a couple of quick notes here so I don't lose all my notes forever. Okay. So, Keedvar is the closer one to Stratsburn, right? That's what I said earlier? I can't remember. Yeah, it is. And it takes you the better part of a day traveling through the Meadowlands to get there. Keedvar is roughly here-ish, and Stratsburn is roughly here-ish. Ish. Close to that. So after a full day of walking, you arrive at Keedvar. It is a small little village, maybe 200 people in it total. Really small. It's actually one of the smallest villages in the countryside here. It's run, as I said before, by Lady Kel Penelope Lithman. That Kel in there means she's a knight. And she oversees this village along with her immediate family. They have no idea that you're coming. So they have an estate in the center of town. The estate is really not much more than a stone house with, barred windows so that it can't be broken into. It's rather large, big enough you would expect not to hold the whole town, but if the town were in danger, probably a lot of people could flee back into here. There is also a stone church, and then just like fields and little huts. It doesn't look like the town even has a blacksmith or anything like that. It looks like the town is entirely farmers.
Is she like one of the main like noble families with estates in town?
Yes, the Lithman family is 1, 2, 3, the 4th biggest family out of the 7 of you guys. So they're kind of in the middle.
Sister, brother, do we want to go to the estate? I say we push ourselves on some commoner. I have no desire to be around any of these noble pigs.
I feel that we, however the evil, I feel it's a necessary evil while we're out to keep our presence known. Even if it does mean an evening of barbs, we are above that.
I will do my best to bite my tongue.
I've stayed in commoner houses before. It's not that bad, you know. You can get used to it.
Yes, I wouldn't mind an actual bed.
They have beds, you know.
No, they probably don't.
All right, you guys make your way to the estate. Give a knock at the door, and a servant comes and answers it. Looks you guys over. Pauses, cocks his head to the side, looks at Torin and goes, my lords and lady Amberfall, if I presume correct.
You're correct, good man. Is the
what an
lady?
unexpected pleasure to have you here. What is the manner of your business? He says, still holding the door open and standing in the doorway.
We are passing through and need lodging for the night.
Oh. Yes, of course. Please do come in. I will get her night ship. Immediately. She's currently out riding. Come in. He leads you into a parlor. It's kind of not a great parlor. It's like on par with what you've got at your house, but for like a noble estate out in the countryside, you'd really expect a little bit more from it. But again, it is a small podunk village. He sits you down and has another servant come to fetch you guys some refreshments. He brings you wine and some crackers and cheese, while the head servant heads out to go find the lady of the house.
When they bring wine, when they drop it off, I say to him, I think we're going to need more than this, please.
They nod and smile and go back and bring a couple of bottles.
And some water in a bowl so we can refresh ourselves after this journey.
They bring you what you need. Maybe an hour later, as the sun is setting, Lady Lithman comes in. She's wearing chain mail. She's got a sword at her side and sweat on her brow. Looks like she's just hopped off her horse. You can even hear her spurs jingling as she walks. She comes in, crosses her arms and goes, well, what an unexpected pleasure to have my lords and ladies Amberfall here with me. Are you just traveling through, or are you planning on staying a while?
We'll be gone in the morning.
Lovely.
Hey, Neil, I want to specify that I don't have an etiquette proficiency. I just want that to be known.
Well,
I do, and I also have heraldry, so I'll bow. What's the correct title? Is it just lady or?
Lady or Kel, depending on what you want to emphasize. If you want to emphasize martialness or nobility.
I think for her, I'll emphasize the martialness. Kel Penelope, thank you for your hospitality. It's been a long journey. As my brother said, we are just passing through.
See. Well, I would love to host you. Unfortunately, most of my family is out, and so there has not been a sufficient feast prepared for us tonight, but I will make sure the servants know that you are here, and we will dine together.
Very well.
Maybe next time you can host us, yeah?
It is no trouble.
Take another swig of the wine.
Lady, we did not give the proper notice before we came. We certainly do not expect a feast, and we do apologize for being a burden upon you and your house.
Well, it is my pleasure to serve the nobility of this county. And as your family remains among our ranks, you are more than welcome to relieve yourself of my hospitality. But you must excuse me, I am weary. I've been riding hard, keeping the filth from my villages. I will see you over dinner in an hour or so.
Of course.
As she leaves, I'm going to follow her and get close and be like, "So, you're a knight. Does that mean
Yes.
you've gone out and done like adventuring and slain monsters and all of that?"
That is a childish, romantic notion of what it means to be a knight.
So, what do you do then?
I deliver justice. Excuse me, I must go change.
Okay.
And she takes off, goes upstairs, and you guys have some time to rest. Then there's dinner. It's literally just her at dinner and the three of you.
I'm gonna head over to Torin and be like, "Torin, why aren't
Sister.
you a knight?"
Because we are landed nobility.
But you delivered justice.
Indeed, hopefully all of us, including yourself, sister, deliver justice. Maybe one day you may be a knight.
Yeah.
As I'm drinking the wine, I speak up, brother, sister. I'm not going to make it to dinner. I don't think it's a good idea.
Are you still unwell from your injuries, brother?
I'm finding it very hard to calm my tongue right now. It's probably
Very
not
well.
a good idea for me to be around her.
I shall give your apologies to the lady.
You can tell her that I'm suffering after being unconscious after we slayed the Gill Gang.
Very well. I'm sure that topic of conversation will come up, and I'll make sure that that is known to her.
Right. Dinner is awkward. It's three of you, and the servants coming in. Clearly, the servants weren't expecting this. The dinner's a little bit rushed. It's not that fantastic. It's like potatoes and maybe just like a little bit of chicken and, vegetables and stuff. It's definitely not the sort of dinner that you would have if you have guests over. And you can tell the night, she's wrapping her fingers on the table. There's lots of like long silences while you eat. It's quite uncomfortable, but everyone acts civil. Oh, I guess she remains civil the entire time, if not welcoming.
And we bring up the Gilman gang,
Sure.
the Gill gang topic.
Yes, as a reason why Jonathan isn't there, he recently took short arrows to the chest, etc. Also, I just want to bring up with her in the conversation if there's any ancient ruins or anything from yesteryear around.
No, not out here, not in the Meadowlands. This area is as peaceful as it gets. Hagthor's claim might have some things, but have to be dealing with Hagthor, and I don't think anyone wants to be talking to that man.
No.
East. South, near the Barrens, and if you're brave enough, Nixon and Lake Lauren are surrounded by ruins and things left over from long ago. Nixon, I hear, is ripe for the picking for your sort of work.
Yeah, I'm going there one day,
Oh. Lake Lauren is also. Oh, yes.
We already beat the Gill gang, so what
I
can...
heard. Some of my people came back from delivering grain. Said that the Gill Gang had finally been caught and found, and that the Amberfall family of all people were the ones who did it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Torin is he delivered justice.
Yes, you see, while the trappings of nobility are well and good, ultimately the people need justice to be done, as I'm sure you've agreed, Kel, Penelope.
Indeed.
But we can still be civilized in amongst that. And we do thank you for your civilness.
Smiles. All right, dinner passes eventually, and
Yeah.
we can just go on to the next day. No HP gained because you all traveled this day. That next day, you make it to the next town over, to Stratsburn. It is a population 500. It is one of the few villages here not owned by a noble family. It is run by Kel Elissa. She doesn't even have a last name. Well, she's not a noble. She is a landed knight that owes her fealty directly to the Countess. She's middle-aged and has a small family with her. The town is about 500 people large, and it borders the the Blackthorn Forest.
Hey, Neil, out of character, how are marriages handled?
Same way that they are in the real world, I think.
So marriages aren't arranged, per se?
Oh, no, they're mostly arranged. Oh, well, okay, it depends at what level in society we're talking about. If you're a peasant, you marry whoever the hell you want, no one gives a shit. If you're a noble, your marriages are almost always arranged, unless you're like, the seventh, like a cousin of the main family. In that case, they're still arranged a little bit, but it's less of a big deal. The closer you are to the chain of command, the more highly arranged things are. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yes. Brother, sister. So we have arrived. Do we want to go straight to this barn, or do we want to mingle with the powers that be?
Well, I don't think the powers that be in here are actually nobility in any case. I believe it's Kel Elissa.
Exactly.
So it would be good to pay our respects, but we can, of course, go straight to the barn.
How about before we pay our respects, how about first we pay our respects?
It may do goods.
A knight, not a noble, owning land. What if we could maybe swingle a little bit of charisma, get in there, and make this land our land?
A landed knight doesn't actually own the land, as such is my understanding. So if marriage, then the land would not come with it.
She's also married and has children.
How would you take from this person who has something in a legal way? Because obviously that's what our mom has said is the best way to do it.
Well, whoever the heir is, we can think more about this later. Let's just go.
In the meantime, we will be trampling on Kel Elissa's territory. Maybe a quick meeting would be good, just to let her know of our presence. And also, I think it might be a good idea not to let her know that about the news of our actions. Perhaps we should see what the lay of the land is.
Ooh, that's a good point. What if she's aware of this being the hideout of the gang?
If she's in with the gang, then she probably already knows that we slaughtered the gang. So maybe we just play it safe and just go to the barn, get what we're getting, and go.
Well, I think we should still pay our respects, but perhaps just keep a lower profile and just say we're here for our own business, and we wanted to pay a courtesy call.
I think if she's in with the gang and we show up, I think it'd be quite obvious why we're here.
Of course, but nothing needs to be said about that.
Just our presence alone would speak enough.
Yes, but not explicitly.
Okay, well, we shall do as you wish.
Very well. So we head to Kel Elissa's.
Okay.
Ask around for directions.
Yeah, it's the biggest house in the village. Easy to spot.
Yeah.
You find the lady, the knight outside. I guess, yeah, lady's not the right term. You find the knight atop a horse. She is kind of just strolling through town on horseback, overseeing things, kind of looking around, making sure everything's in order, when she spots the three of you walking into town from out in the Meadowlands. So she breaks her horse into a gallop and comes out to meet you. Doesn't know who you guys are at first and has her hand on her arming sword as she watches the heavily armed Torin and Jonathan come in.
As I see her
calls
hand
out-
on her sword, I put my hand on mine.
Immediately calls out, "Who goes there? You, men in arms. Declare yourself."
I am Jonathan Ramsey of House Amberfall.
And I am Torin, also of House Amberfall, and this is our little sister, Amy.
I see, she says. She takes her hand off her sword. "You are very far from home. I have heard your mother is taken ill. Is she okay?"
She is well.
What? No.
As well as can be expected.
Her ailments do not trouble her for long, I hope. She is in my prayers.
Who is
very
it you
much,
pray
fellas.
to, lady?
I pray to the mother and the father for peace and justice. Martha and Esther.
It's lovely.
Alyssa, that is, thank you for your sentiments. We hope that we can speak them back to our mother. You know, on a matter of some thieves, we are a long way away and we have a lead. We seek your permission to search a certain building.
What building? And for what reason?
I just explained the reason.
You've said you've come from far away.
Yes, but on the matter of thievery.
Yes.
Basically, never mind. I'll let my brother speak.
No, Jonathan, please continue.
Okay, very well. Basically, we have captured the Gilgate, my lady. We killed most of them. 2 of them live. After a little bit of convincing, one of them spoke up and informed us on the workings of the gang, which leads us to a barn outside your town. So we're going to search it. My brother here thought it would be polite for us to come and tell you what we're going to be doing on your land.
Yes, there is a barn well outside of town, maybe a half mile into the Blackthorn Forest. Still standing from when the village was larger before the war. There's a few buildings out there that way, mostly abandoned. I think farmers, woodsmen take shelter in it from time to time when the weather gets rough.
Perhaps you could lead us to those buildings, if it's not so much of an imposition upon you, Alyssa.
Yes, mighty knight, lead the way.
She nods, turns the horse around, and starts leading you directly into the woods.
Jonathan, do you know if there could be more of those Gil gang people here?
Playing off my local history, Neil, do I know how large the Gil gang was?
Well, you saw how many people. You saw 7.
Yes. From my knowledge, would I suspect that it would be larger?
The
think we
rumors were
had-
6 to 10 people.
I think
Okay.
we heard a little bit over 7, so it's possible.
Little sister, I believe if it was not all of them, there's maybe just a couple left.
Well, they will surrender because, I mean, if they have the news, they're smart enough to know. Maybe we could get a squire and for Torin when he becomes a knight,
Maybe.
or when I become a knight. Give it a year or so. I'll be there.
Yes, mighty Kel Amy of House Amberfall. It has a strong ring to it, sister.
It does indeed.
As we're making our way out, Neil, I begin kind of reflecting on the earlier conversations with this knight, and the notion that she would be praying for my mother. It begins to stir my thoughts, and I would like to strike up a conversation with her about the gods. And could I use this as a chance to make a charisma check to kind of befriend her
I'm not gonna let you befriend her with just a charisma check.
Okay.
Your friendliness with her will come out through role playing. So how would you like to befriend this person?
Say knight. I'm not sure what the proper title and all of that is. I don't know. But say you spoke of praying for my mother. That is something that I can appreciate. There's a lot of things in life that I don't appreciate. A lot of things in life that I don't know about. I don't know. I'm not best with words sometimes, my lady. But something that I love to speak about is the gods. You speak of praying for my mother. I thank you for that.
Are you devout in your faith?
I am. I am. I have spent much time reading about the gods and studying the gods.
And which one calls to you the most, young Jonathan Ramsey?
You know, I don't know. I think all the gods have their place. The father and the mother are definitely two very powerful gods that control the fate of this world, and I honor them deeply. Have you spent a lot of time reading into the gods and studying all the gods, or just primarily the mother?
I do not have the time, unfortunately, to delve deeply into these matters. When you run a village, it's like having 1,000 children. There's never a spare moment. I know only what the clerics, priests share with me. I follow their judgment and guidance.
The priest in Wadsworth. I fancy the priests in Wadsworth. They've helped me a lot in my journey. And that's really all I have to say.
So, you guys go through the forest for maybe an hour. Not quite. This section of forest is fairly well maintained. There's not a lot of undergrowth. The dead trees that fall over are ripped out and used for wood. It's pretty clear going, quite easy to move around. I wouldn't gallop a horse through it because the branches are still low enough occasionally that you might get yourself into some trouble, but there's no impediment to your movement through this nice cleared area.
It's okay for saddlebags then?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for saddlebags then?
Oh, I forgot all about Saddlebags. Is he with you?
Yeah.
I completely forgot Saddlebags existed.
Oh, wow.
Saddlebags are mighty steed, Neil.
I know, and its existence... I don't...
We always forget about the
glad you...
pets.
I'm glad you brought him up. I appreciate that, Jeff. Yeah, Saddlebags is totally good. He's happy as a horse can be. Or a donkey or whatever. So she brings you to this old barn. There's not much to say about it. It's an old barn. The paint was once red, but now it's got all this moss on one side of it. The boards are pretty loose. Some of them have fallen apart. There's grass growing up all around it and some plants growing off of the roof. Thick leaves kind of cover the wooden rooftops.
I'm guessing that we enter and search and...
The knight has brought you here and asks if you guys want her to wait around and lead you back out, or if you can find your own way out of the forest.
If you wish to leave, my lady, you are more than welcome. If you wish to stay,
many duties to attend.
Well, we thank you for your hospitality.
She gives you a nod and takes off on horseback. So, you guys are in the woods. You're in the barn. The front doors are open. Looking inside, there's dirt sections and grassy sections, kind of all over. Doesn't look like it's been really used very much.
I would like to, first of all, before I really go in, I'd like to look around and look for any sign of life or movement out here.
Outside, like in the woods?
Yeah, just kind of around the barn.
Okay, you take a look around. You don't find anything in the woods. I mean, you see a bird here. Maybe, some other a squirrel runs by, but that's about it.
Okay, so I guess we proceed into the barn and just start turning everything over.
Really hope they didn't give us a fake location. That would make me really mad.
Is there any particular method to your madness, or just look at everything?
Turn everything over, lift everything up, knock on the boards, listen for a hollow spot, kind of do is the ground dirt?
Mm-hmm.
Look for anything that looks like has maybe been unturned, like something has been buried under it. There's lofts, the lofts upside down.
Look up in the rafters. Head up the top as well. Have a look around the barn.
Sure. So you guys are moving around. There's a section where like the wall has kind of collapsed and caved in, and as Jonathan said, pick everything up. You start like lifting up this section of collapsed wall, and sure enough, there's a little bit of a tunnel leading down. And I don't mean like someone built a staircase. I mean like someone dug like a dirty tunnel down there. Like,
Sister, can you check it for trap settle?
Yeah, of course I can.
What's your chance to detect traps, sister?
It is now 15.
All right, 15%.
I take a look
see-
down there and
See no traps whatsoever.
I'd like to take a stick or something and start poking down the hole.
how deep is the hole?
Well, it's kind of underneath this wall that has fallen over. So someone has to prop it up in order for you to look down. It's not very easy to see how deep the hole goes because it's dark down there. You can see maybe 3 feet, maybe 4 feet in, and then it's just pitch black.
I'm gonna work to clear the wall.
So you like move the wall away.
Yeah.
Not a problem. You clear the wall away, give yourself some nice big working space here.
I would like to poke down into the hole with a stick.
We have the 10-foot poles on saddlebags.
Oh, yeah, get that 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
Okay. You poke down there, and it's just empty space down there.
All right, just light up a torch. We'll go in there and see what's going on.
You're gonna have trouble getting down there with a torch. If someone wants to come down here, they're gonna have to get on their belly and crawl down here. So you can't really like put a torch in front of you while you crawl down a hole. You're gonna burn yourself.
Can we light a torch and then just roll it down there and hope it stays alight?
Yeah, you could try that. Does anyone have a torch?
No.
I have 5.
Nobility.
I'll hand you a torch, Amy.
Okay.
Does anyone have a tinderbox?
I do.
All right, we got fire. Okay, you get a torch lit, and what do you do, Amy?
I'm gonna just throw it and try and make it roll down the hole.
Okay. The torch goes down the hole. You give it a good toss, and kind of drops after maybe 7 or 8 feet down out of sight, kind of illuminating a large hole, like a substructure down in there.
Maybe let's walk around the barn. Maybe there's another entrance into it, like a cellar. We didn't walk around it.
We can quickly do that and then come back in.
I quickly walk around the barn looking for like a cellar or something.
Sure.
Give me a perception check. Everyone that's walking around, give me perception checks.
Yeah, I'm gonna just stare into the tunnel while they walk around and have a look inside there instead.
Oh, wow. A moment of silence. I actually succeeded a perception check.
So I would like to use my perception check to just look through the hole to see what sort of cavern has been revealed, which I failed.
All right. Torrin is the only one to pass his perception check. Torrin, you look about, and it's just earth and dirt and grass and trees and the occasional berry bush or other plant that people leave to grow for harvesting purposes.
Nothing here, brother. Let's head down the hole.
Okay.
Okay. You guys head back to the hole, look down, and there's no more light in there. The torch inside has gone out.
Okay.
So while I was watching, and they went off walking, I'm gonna like.
I thought you went off walking, looking around. You made a perception check.
I want to perceive and watch the inside of the hole and see what sort of cavern I'm looking into. Obviously, I failed it though.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you were checking the surrounding area.
My plan is to just like slowly crawl into the hole while they're looking around.
Okay.
Sort of cavern has been illuminated in front of me.
Earth, no stone. Looks like there's some wooden support beams that are helping hold up the ceiling. Definitely looks man-made.
Yeah, so while they go off looking, I'm gonna slowly crawl in.
All right, you crawl into the hole while there's still light. Well, this changes a few things. And as you crawl in, you see there's like this bookshelf that doesn't have any books on it, but it's got like plates and dishes and the utilities for life. And you get about 8 feet down into this hole to the point where you're just about at the point where you can look down inside, because the exit of this tunnel is near the ceiling of this room.
Yeah.
And as you put your hands over the edge to pull yourself in, you feel hands grabbing your hands, and you get pulled. Give me 2 opposed strength checks.
Strength is not a good one. No. Fail and a pass.
Okay, you get pulled in. One of the hands kind of slips off of yours, the other has another hand joining it, and you get tugged into the hole while your brothers are out walking around the perimeter looking for things. You get dragged in.
Give out a scream.
Yeah, you give out a scream. Jonathan and Torrin, can you make me perception checks at -4? She's in a hole in a bar.
Can I lawyer that I have put all of my thieves skills for level 1 and level 2 into detect noise?
That is a different use of the skill.
Okay.
No. A perception check's at -4 to see if you can hear screams.
D20 +1. I need to roll a 20.
Oh no.
Oh, so close, Torrin. Oh! Jonathan, you hear
Immediately, I began screaming, Torrin, Amy's in trouble, Torrin.
All right, run.
Torrin, you're blind and deaf. Give me a perception check to hear if you can hear Jonathan yelling at you. All right, so
I feel
Amy,
like we would be walking together in this.
Yeah, I'm joking here.
Yeah, basically the door figure. Yeah, it's good.
Amy, you get dragged into this, and immediately there's a man drawing a short sword while the other one is like reaching over for a spear. Why don't you roll initiative? You can declare whatever actions you'd like, but these guys are going for their weapons. Having pulled you in.
Well, let's see. I should probably take out my arming sword. Yeah, that's the best option. 1d10 +5. Wow!
Oh. All right, they go first. They both get their weapons out and point them at you with attacks readied. One of them says, "Who the hell are you? How'd you find this place?" The other one, talking over him, says, "Is there anyone else with you? I heard other voices. Where are the others?"
The Kel has decided to look around here, You know, the one in charge of the town.
Who are you?
Person from the
What's your
Kel.
name?
Amy?
Amy what?
Amy what?
Amy what? What's your last name?
The last names that's for
What does your
noble
family
people.
do?
My family make cakes and bread.
Okay, at this point, Jonathan and Torin, you have managed to make it over here. You see this hole. It is light inside, and you can see the back of a person. Actually, the back of a head of a person. That is not Amy, and that's pretty much all you can see.
I take my crossbow and just fire right at the head.
All right.
I believe this would be a pretty big plus, wouldn't it, Neil?
No, it's gonna be a pretty big minus because he's got like 90% hard cover.
Okay, never mind. I'm not going to shoot. My
yeah.
logic in it was his head was right there, and I could pretty much point blank him.
Well, no,
got
because he's like
cover,
down a
but
hole
back
still.
attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
It's cover and back attack, so it's kind of.
Yeah, but
is-
he's got like, only his head is popping out, so it'd be minus 10 to hit for the cover, and then plus 2 for back attack. So it's a difficult shot.
You're taking it anyway, aren't you?
I'm gonna go charging into the hole head first.
What is your height and weight again, Mr. Torin?
Mr. Torrens' height and weight is
6 foot, 250 pounds?
215 pounds, but I am in
15?
armor. Yeah,
Oh.
it's 215.
My notes say 250.
Ah, yes.
Let's-
I think you must have heard me. I must have mumbled. Yeah, but here it
Okay.
is on my character sheet.
That changes things a little bit. You can fit in the hole then.
Lovely. I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's a small hole, so if you were 250, I don't think you would have been able to fit. But 215 is good.
6 foot with that weight, he's like no fat.
Yeah, it's all
Uh,
pure muscle.
I don't know. I'm 6 feet tall and 185 pounds, and
Yeah, but you're
I
not
have
an
lots
18
of.
strength, are you?
Oh, but that's true. I don't have 18 strength.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you're a lanky. I shouldn't say lanky, but you're definitely a fatless man.
Well, see, I can't really determine weight very well, so I'm happy to increase that slightly to account for my muscles.
Whatever. No, it's perfectly reasonable.
Okay,
Everything's
cool.
perfectly reasonable.
I have wiring muscles.
All right, so you dive down the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think they can definitely hear a person coming down that hole. So they turn around. It'll be interesting.
Sorry, I've got my shield in my hand. Can I?
The shield
push
definitely
it?
won't fit in the hole.
Right. Okay. Even if it's lengthways.
Yeah, it's too broad. It's too wide across.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, yeah, I'll dump the shield and just have the sword in front.
You're gonna go down this hole with a sword.
And army crawl. Yeah, army crawl through.
Okay. The inside, you start crawling down the hole. The guy in the hole turns around, sees you, kind of puts a big smile on his face, reaches down, grabs the torch, and just tosses it up the hole towards you, burning end forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a miss. It doesn't land close enough to burn you, but now it's sitting, a foot down from you, and the heat and the smoke is coming up in front of you. You're blinded, your eyes are watering, you can't breathe, but you're not being burned.
I mean, it's a torch, so the heat wouldn't be that much. So I'm just gonna keep on going.
All right, so
I mean, no, it's a
Torin-
torch. It's flames. There's lots of. What do you mean? The
Yeah,
heat wouldn't be
absolutely.
that much?
Like it's not like a ranging bonfire. I'm just gonna kick it out and push it out of the way with my mailed armor.
That's right. You've got gloves on. Okay. You
Yeah.
can shove it out of the way.
During
and-
the that round, they got their weapons out and readied at me. I got my weapon out as well, right?
You lost initiative, so they had gotten to you before you got your weapons out.
Okay, so Torin, you see me without my weapon out yet.
Not yet. You're
Yeah,
on the ground still, not standing. They've kind of kept you on the ground as they pulled you out and then pointed weapons down at you. So you're,
Okay.
you're like, for now. Torin, so he tosses the torch. You keep crawling. You knock the torch out of the way. And let's roll initiative to see if you can make it out of the hole before he can churn his weapon to you.
Should I add the +5 for the sword, or just the +3 to make it out of the hole?
The +5, because you're still going to be using your sword
Right.
if you win.
Okay, cool.
Well, if I am on the floor and haven't picked the weapon yet, then it's dagger.
All right, so you get roll initiative as well then, Amy.
Yep, 6.
Jonathan, you're on the back outside. You can see Torin's feet descending.
So on my initiative, would it just be a flat D10 since I'm not going to be able to make a weapon attack?
You don't need to make initiative if you're not going to engage in combat. What do you want to do, though? And we'll figure out.
I'm going to go up to the hole, look down the hole, assess the situation. May do something with a flask of oil, or may go down the hole,
All right.
depending on what I evaluate.
Okay. So yeah, we'll just put you last at the round, or have you do
Okay.
it next round. We'll see.
Well, that sounds good.
Torin, what was your initiative?
Hi, 13.
Ooh, and Benjamin got 6. Okay. And they have initiatives. All right, Ben, you go first. Amy, you go first.
All right, so I want to draw my dagger and use.
The one guy still has you covered with the
Okay.
short sword.
Let's see, what can I do about that?
Not much. Maybe you've got a clever idea.
I don't. I want to maybe use like the dagger and just throw it, but I mean he's got an attack readied, right?
He's got an attack ready.
That's what, yeah.
You gonna take the attack?
I think so, yeah.
All right. You reach for a dagger. He lunges, stabs you with his short sword. For 4 points of damage, and then you can get your dagger out and hurl it at him.
All right. So I'm throwing a dagger. It's just a flat d20 at this guy. I mean, at this range, is there any point throwing it or just like stabbing with it? It's kind of the same action, isn't it?
Yeah,
So we should just say I'm just stabbing the guy who just attacked me.
do it. Make a roll to hit.
Stab.
Wild miss.
Stab.
He goes next and slashes at you with his short sword again, which is a natural 19. You have no armor class, right? It's AC 10.
AC 10.
He criticals you. One
Right.
away from a double critical, Amy.
I'm rip.
Make me a saving throw versus death, and you take 4 points of damage.
Okay, I'm at -1. And my save is 6, which is fail by 6
Okay.
or 7. Yeah.
Let's see. A short sword is a small weapon, so it hits you in... Oh, no significant effects from the crit. All right. Torin, your turn. You dig yourself out of the hole. The other guy's picking his spear back up, trying to wedge it up in the hole when you kind of roll out onto the ground just in time to see this guy stab Amy and her fall to the ground unconscious.
Now, I have high ground, don't I? Because they pulled Amy off the ledge, or did they pull her through the hole onto the
They
ground?
pulled her all the way through the hole into the ground.
Right, okay, so I'm on the same level as them.
Yeah, you're all even together.
Okay, cool.
15 is a hit.
On the spearman facing me.
Yeah. All
Ooh.
right, he drops to the ground with a... Jonathan, you now have a clear line of sight. Well, you have a clear line of sight to the back of Torin's head.
Okay, I hop down.
All right, you crawl down at the end of the round. You can, push your way past Torin into the room.
And I just make a V-line for Amy.
Okay. The remaining guy... well, let's roll initiative. Let's see what the other guy with the short sword does.
Do I roll when unconscious?
Yeah, roll a d10 to see when you bleed.
Yeah.
You take a point of bleeding.
What would my plus be for just trying to make a healing check on Amy?
3. 4. All right. So Amy bleeds. Jonathan jumps to Amy to bandage her. Now the other guy's standing over her. If you go to heal her now, and he wants to, he could take an attack of opportunity at you.
Okay, since he's standing over her, I'm going to turn my pimp sword into the sword cane, and I'm just going to try and just lunge it through the guy.
All right, so that's going to delay your initiative by another 3 or so. So that becomes 7. So he gets an action first. He puts his sword, points it towards Amy in a ready to attack, and says, "One move, and she's gone. Don't you dare!"
I back off and I look to Torin.
If she dies, you die.
He nods.
The way I see it, all the power is in our hands. We've already killed the rest of your people. If you want to live, you lower your weapon now.
No.
You kill her, your death is going to be just even more painful. We know where your base is. I have names of everybody in your gang. Your people talked. The ones who lived, they talked. How do you think we found this place?
Oh, I'm sure of it, but I'm not ready to give up yet. You make a sudden move, I'm going to run her through. Amy, take another point of bleeding damage.
We're in an impasse then, because she's going to die while you wait, and you're not going to surrender. So what do you suggest then?
Let me think. Hold on. Okay. This is what we're going to do. You guys are going to drop your weapons. You're going to climb out. Then I'm going to climb out. And I'm going to take off. And you guys can come back in here and get her.
Our sister will be dead by then. Am I close enough to just swing at him?
With your fists? Oh, no, with your sword. Yeah. This is not a big lair. You can see the whole thing, but you're all pretty close. If you swing at him, he's got an attack ready to Amy, though. Yeah,
but if he attacks Amy, that's suicide for himself. It'd be crazy to attack Amy while I'm swinging at him. That doesn't make sense.
I understand what you're saying in real-world mechanics, but in game terms, he's got a ready attack, so he could make a stab at her and then... You know what I'm saying? Like the...
How about this, mate? How about this? We will walk to the opposite end of this room. And as we walk to the opposite end, you can go ahead and climb up this hole.
Throw down your weapons. Go way over there. Put your backs to me, heads in the corner.
I'm not putting my head in the corner, but I'll lay down my weapons. I proceed to lay down my weapons.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to throw my weapon back where we're going to be standing so he can't take it, and then move backwards quickly and say, "Go, man. We return to our sister."
So he waits for you guys to back to the far side of the room, which is like 20 feet away. He tells you to turn your backs to him.
I'm not turning my back.
Turn your backs! No. She doesn't have a lot of time.
Then go now. Or else you die now. Your choice.
He drops a sword and scrambles through the hole as fast as he can.
I try and just run back up to him and grab him as he's climbing up the hole.
All right, make me opposed initiative checks. He's got a head start on you, so you roll a d20 a d10 plus 3, and he'll just roll a d10. Uh-oh. He rolled an 8.
Shall we all roll initiative this round?
No, just Jonathan and him.
Okay.
I'm hitting
tie. So he scrambles up the tunnel. You manage to reach up and grab his boot, but he's already up the tunnel, and you are going to have to make opposed strength checks to see who can overpower the other one.
Does he have leverage if he's stuck in the tunnel? Should he have a penalty? Versus Jonathan that can have 2 hands on him?
Maybe, but he is grabbing the guy's legs, and he can kick, and he can wedge himself in the tunnel, so I'm going to call it a wash. Jonathan fails, he succeeds. The other guy succeeds. He scrambles, kicks Jonathan's hands off, and is up and out the tunnel.
As he's running, I'll be like, "I know your name, your entire family's going to die."
Can I kill Amy?
Yeah, give me an int check. Amy, take a point of bleeding damage while this goes on.
All right. I'm at -4.
Oh, your third 20 for the day. All right, you bandage up Amy. She stabilizes. The other guy on the ground is probably stabilizing, or you could probably stabilize if you wanted.
Yeah, it's my thing.
If you want, I mean, you don't have to. No.
No, I don't.
All right, he dies the next round.
Yeah.
So
What if I wanted to try to heal him, Neil?
no, he was already really low. He was at -9 when Tor.
I was going to kill him anyways, so.
How very much like you.
Just remember, you are in their lair now, so take a look around.
Yeah. So you're in this awkwardly shaped room. This tunnel comes in. It's clearly on like one side, and the room extends out the other way. You see shelves with like cooking ware, and there's tables and chairs. There's like lanterns hanging from the ceiling that are not lit yet. You see there's like a little tunnel that leads out above this small built, like this small, what do you call it? Not stove, but fire pit that's kind of built into the wall, fireplace. And there's like a little tunnel that leads out up at an angle to presumably let the smoke out a different way than through the main area. There's a series of bunk beds and cots, and the whole thing kind of curves off to the side, makes this weird L shape to give you a surprisingly large lair underground with potential for lighting, beds, tables, chairs, kind of all the amenities of a barracks would provide for a group of soldiers.
I'm going to ignore all that and head back up to the tunnel. I'm going to be cautious to make sure I don't get ambushed coming out, but I'm going to make sure he's gone and make sure Saddlebags is okay. Also, to make sure we're not caught in the trap.
Yeah. You step out and look around. He's gone. Saddlebags is hanging out unmolested.
All right, I'll bring Saddlebags inside and just stand guard.
Okay. Jonathan, you're the only one conscious down on the hole.
So is there anything of super value down here? Is there like a treasure of gold?
Yeah, you start looking around. You find what appears to be the coffers for the Gill Gang. It is a large chest loaded with silver and copper, and maybe a few gold coins scattered throughout.
Okay. Is this chest like completely full? Do I have room to throw the other amenities down here in it?
Yeah. It's not like overflowing, but it's quite filled.
Okay. I'll just start throwing anything that looks of value in there. Is there like any precious like artifacts maybe?
No.
Like I don't know, anything that like sticks out.
Yeah, there are some weapons. There are some old suits of armor, like partial suits of armor, nothing full. There's like, like a chain vest and like a chain colif. But they're old and not in very good condition. There's a lot of like household stuff. But all the real wealth is in the form of the coins and the few weapons they have lying around. There's some axes, a bunch of spears, more arrows, some more quivers, a couple more bows. Yeah. It's a pretty good haul.
Does anything look ornate or just your typical weaponry?
No,
Okay.
It looks like they've been, these are probably the weapons they brought back from the war, what they've managed to steal from people, and the money looks like what they've been taking from peasants or whoever else they can get it. It's not a great haul of wealth. You're not going to be rich, but
Yeah.
it will put a dent in a good-sized dent in the money you owe.
Okay. I guess I just start pushing all that stuff up there. As all this is going on, I look around for stuff that may be not of value, but maybe insight into the game. Like, is there any journals or writings or any letters or anything laying around?
There's not a single written word anywhere.
Okay. All right. Well, I start shoving everything up, and as I'm shoving everything up, still looking around for anything of value or anything that sticks out. Nothing sticks out. Just keep shoving everything up.
Nope. Nothing of value sticks out. There's like a training dummy and other stuff that kind of it makes it very clear that this is a place where warriors would associate and hang out. But nothing. I mean, there's like some oil flasks and some lanterns. If you want to take those would be valuable. There's a table and chairs, but it looks like you'd have to break them apart to get them out of here. There's like some nails and some hammers and.
Thinking about the location of this entire room, with it being kind of hidden underground, I want to look around for anything else that might be hidden. So, like, examine the walls.
Give me a perception check. Okay, so you start digging around, hoping to find something hidden, and behind one of the beds that you're moving things around. And you accidentally knock the bed up a moment and notice that there's a little carved out section behind the headboard of one of these bunk beds. Digging around back in there, you find a cloth sack.
I open the cloth sack. What is inside of it?
Inside are silver and gold pieces, as well as what appears to be a few rings and maybe jewelry taken from more well-to-do folk.
I take this jewelry and I just start sticking it on my fingers and stuff, applying it to myself.
Okay.
And then I throw the rest of the bag into the chest.
All right. We're gonna just kind of speed ahead forward here because we're really late on time. So you guys managed to get Amy out of the hole. You get the treasure out of the hole. She's stabilized but in bad condition. You can, put her on saddlebags. And put the other stuff in there, and bring her back. You're gonna have to spend a day or so waiting down in this area. It's probably gonna take you like 4 or 5 days to get back to Wadsworth with her, and we can kind of just gloss through all of that. Eventually, you guys will make it back to Wadsworth safe and sound. Why don't we dole out some experience and calculate wealth and call it a day?
And how many warrior? Are we doing the optional warrior?
No, I have decided I'm not fond of that method. I think it's awkward and cumbersome. So we're just going to do group experience forever.
Cool.
So, where were we here? Let's do. You defeated 8 zeroth level fighter, zeroth level fighter from the Gil gang. You defeated a 2nd level fighter that was the head of the Gil gang. You found them, defeated them, found their treasure pile, found their secret treasure pile.
Was celebrated by the town.
True. You did make a good appearance in town by bringing back 2 members alive, including the leader. So let's give you 150 experience bonus for bringing back the leader.
We interrogated George Guy or whatever his name was.
Yeah, but that's part of the experience for finding the secret lair. Yeah. So divide that between 3 people. Each of you is bringing home 486 experience for questing and combat. That giant slug is worth a lot, which is the only reason you guys got so much last time. Giant slug was amazing.
So did you say 480?
486. And I think you get 10% bonus on top of that.
Yeah, I'm just.
Strength. And then that's questing experience. Let's do some role-playing experience here.
I felt like we all role-played. Great.
And I've already marked down the 100 experience for remembering the hit points of
Good
Fiona.
job. Why don't you also all mark down 250 for your over-the-top, fantastic role-playing. I think you guys are falling into a nice routine here. With you guys.
I get 200 XP for the recap.
Yeah, mark some recap experience.
I leveled up.
You did?
Congrats.
Yep.
You and Amy both?
Let me check. What? You level up at what was it?
I level up at 3,500. I have a total of 3,022.
Hold on.
You and Amy should have the exact same experience.
Yeah. Let me check.
I think Amy has 100 more from the remembering VHP thing.
No, I think that was given to everyone.
Yeah, let's give it to everyone in the party.
Well, then
I am 200.
Right.
I am 245 XP away from level
Let me
3.
just get my calculator out. 4.
What did you say you were at, Jonathan?
with the extra 100, 3,122.
Yep. I'm at 300 exactly, yeah, 300.
Okay. So our two rogues leveled again. Wow, you guys are getting out of hand quickly. That giant slug, man, that giant slug sped this game up so fast.
Yeah, if only Pat had just moved back one round earlier, we would have all been alive for that as well.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have gotten as much experience from the giant slug then. Would have been divided by 4 instead of by 3.
Yeah.
So Amy and Jonathan, please roll me a d6 for your HP.
Yeah.
If I roll first.
Go for it.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Rogue. Yeah, we get a factor improvement. There we go. Oh, 1d6.
Nice.
Wow.
That's 2 6s in a row, man.
And a
That's
5.
Oh, very
So
nice.
so my max HP is now 12.
this is 13. You guys are both level 3. You get more points. 30 for Amy. 15 for Bradley.
Hold on. At the beginning of this session, you said it was 60.
I said, oh shit, it was supposed to be 30 at the beginning of this session. It's 60 at the first and 30 every level thereafter.
All right, so we've got to change the numbers.
Well, no, because now you got 30 again, so now you've gotten 60.
All right, so that's up to there.
No, you should be fine right now.
I'm fine as long as I don't change numbers right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
Accidentally.
My
said
HP's done. I've got +1 to all my attacks.
Yes, you guys get +1 to hit with all your weapons.
At level 4, we get improvement of saves for thieves. That is it. When is our non-weapons and weapon proficiencies happen?
4.
4 levels for you.
So next level then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's good.
Damn. Okay, let's update the overlays with the new information.
And at the start of next session, if I'm at -4 now, would I just be able to stabilize after a week or however long?
Yeah, so it's going to take you 4 days to regain HP, and then another few days. So I think next session you're going to start Jonathan and Torin. If you guys do nothing in the next week other than just like hang around the house and relax from your adventures, you can each gain 8 life, 8 HP. And
I'm at
Amy,
full health.
you'll be at 2 at the start of next session.
I'll be at 2 HP. And done all the sales, so at the start of the next session, we'll have the 9 gold and 686 silver pieces.
And how much from that hoard that we got?
9 gold and 606 silver? Where'd that 606 silver come from?
The 686 was because they couldn't give it in gold. It was from the short bows and the quivers and the arrows being sold, and that was downtime activity.
Right. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm mixing that up with the
Yeah, it's fine.
with
We
the
noted
snake
it.
stuff from earlier. Okay.
Yeah, we noted it earlier so that we could just apply it to the next.
Right. Okay, so, and the new treasure, Jonathan, you tell your family about the gold pouch that you found, right?
Yeah, I threw it into the chest. I put the jewelry on my fingers, but I threw all the coins into the chest.
All right, so that
The
chest...
jewelry that I put on, was it rings?
I'm sorry, I missed that. What'd you say?
The jewelry that I put on, was it just rings?
It was a few rings and a necklace. So let's discuss that
Rings.
treasure. There was 760 silver pieces. So mark that down.
Oh, I'm the treasure person.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
So you're marking it all down.
Repeat the number.
760 silver.
760.
There is 1,150 copper.
That's a lot of coins.
Then the 2 bags combined with the gold brings it to 45 gold pieces.
Yep.
And it brings you to there were 3 rings and 1 necklace. Amy, you have an appraisal skill, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just tell you the value of those, and mark them separately. Jonathan, they're on your character sheet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you mark them on your character sheet. Amy can evaluate those for you. Each of the rings is worth 10 GP, and the necklace is worth 15.
Okay. Okay, so on the player family thing, I'm tracking my money there, and I'm not tracking Jonathan, Torrin, or anything else. I'm just tracking the treasury and my money.
Okay.
Just because it's easier
Sure.
that way.
So Torrin and Jonathan, you guys will track your own wealth. And that's it for today's session of Age of Strife.
Lovely.
Whew, had a couple of close calls there. 2 PCs almost departed this fair world. But you guys have gotten your first good start. You've managed to make a name for yourself a little bit. At least, made it less despicable. You've managed to actually get some money. I don't know what your total wealth is right now, but hopefully it's enough to pay for at least last month's affairs.
Just post it into Twitch chat as a screenshot.
Hey.
People like to know numbers, don't they?
Yeah.
In our off time, in the downtime, Neil, can we set up a party of sorts?
Like what sort of party? Like the dinner party with the brewers?
Just like a dinner for the common folk? Yeah.
For which common folk? The brewers or for the whole town?
The brewers.
That sounds like something that we might want to role play. Why don't we do that in game at some point? But I
I'd
think
say Mother probably have a.
We might want to
That
invite
was-
the sheriff as well, just to give him a pat on the back.
yeah.
I know, Jonathan, you were kind of putting him down, but maybe we should, give him some praise.
Well,
Jonathan
why
was
don't
in
we
a
deal
very
with
bad
this?
mood.
Why don't
Yeah,
we deal with all
he
this
just woke up
next
from
week? We're an hour over our end time already. Good game, everybody. Well played. We'll see all of you guys next week for more Age of Strife. And good luck. Good night. Goodbye.
So-